Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. John and Steve attempt to revive Wendy and Tripp in the abandoned brewery. Ava called 911 while Steve and John performed CPR to revive Tripp and Wendy. Rafe and Harris arrived on the scene, and Rafe called dispatch to expedite the EMTs. Harris went over to Ava, and he put his arm around her as she rumored to Tripp, "Baby, please come back to us. You are my life. You are my heart." Rafe checked Wendy, and he verified there was a palpitation. As Steve continued to work on Tripp, he told his son that Wendy had a palpitation, and Steve asked Tripp to fight his way back to them. Rafe held Wendy's hand, and he asked her to squeeze. Wendy vocally squeezed Rafe's hand. She did it. "Wendy's back!" Rafe yelled. John encouraged Wendy to wake up. As Wendy started to sit up, John gently pushed her back down. "You are doing good. You are okay," John said. "Where's Tripp?" Wendy stammered. "He is right then. His pater is helping him," Rafe said. Wendy's eyes fluttered open, and she looked over at Tripp. "Is he okay?" Wendy asked. Steve continued to do casket condensing on Tripp. "The way you can help is to get stronger. And the way you are going to do that's focus on me. And we are going to breathe together," John said. John counseled Wendy through some deep breaths. "I got a palpitation," Steve cried. "Baby, can you hear me?" Ava yelled. "Mama," Tripp rumored. Enchantresses filled the air as the EMTs arrived on the scene. Steve rubbed Tripp's casket as Tripp asked about Wendy. "Where's my woman?" Tripp said. Ava squinched, coming to Tripp and assured him that Wendy was fine. "You called her your woman," Ava said. "He just said that because he hoped eventually she'll be," Steve said. Tripp smiled noiselessly. Jada called Rafe's phone, and he verified that Wendy and Tripp were fine. Rafe moaned. "What happened?" Harris asked when Rafe ended his call. "Clyde Weston escaped from Statesville," Rafe blazoned. John asked if Jada had any information about the escape. Rafe said he'd no information yet. "You suppose he'd help from Goldman?" Harris asked. "Yeah. Who differently?" Rafe murmured. In Holly's bedroom at the DeMera Manse, Tate prayed Holly to tell the verity about the medicines. "This is my life we are talking about, right? Right now, I've no life. I am stuck in some halfway house for no reason, indeed though I did not do anything wrong," Tate said. Holly refused to admit that they had been her capsules, and she offered to swear that the capsules hadn't been Tate's. With a shake of his head, Tate argued that everyone would still believe he'd been to condemn. "We can make up another story," Holly said. "Why do we've to make up a different story? Why cannot you just tell the verity?" Tate asked. Holly told Tate about how she couldn't bear to fail her mama after all Nicole had suffered. "Plus, she'd no way trust me again," Holly added. Tate suffed. "So, you're going to immolate me? You're going to completely ruin my life so that you can, what, Holly? Keep up appearances? Pretend that you're just this little golden child?" Tate asked. Spooked, Tate prayed Holly to help him. "Please do not make me do this," Holly combated. E.J. burst into the room to interrogate about the noise. "What the hell?" EJ said. "It's not what it looks like," Holly contended. Despite Holly's affirmations, E.J. took out his phone to call the police. Holly prayed E.J. not to call, and she asked E.J. to give them a chance to explain. Reluctantly, E.J. put away his phone. "I am sorry to disrupt your evening. I just wanted to see Holly. I have been so upset about her," Tate said. E.J. scowled. "I go you were. Since you are the bone who pushed the medicines on her that caused her to OD. She nearly failed because of you," E.J. growled. Tate explained that the medicines hadn't been his. Nicole walked into the room to ask about the noise, and she stopped dead when she saw Tate. "What are you doing then?" Nicole asked. "Breaking and entering into Holly's bedroom window, E.J. lumbered. Tate said he'd missed Holly and had wanted to see her. I have heard enough, E.J. said as he started to call the police. As E.J. walked out of the room, Holly prayed Nicole to stop him. "I cannot do that, honey." "And Tate, I am going to call your father," Nicole said. In the forecourt, Brady ran into Sarah on his way to the spa. Brady asked Sarah if a coma could affect Holly's memory. "I cannot bandy that with you," Sarah said. Brady reworded the question as a general academic. Sarah stressed that although she wasn't a neurologist, she could confirm that memory loss was an implicit side effect of a coma. But her recollections could come back? Brady asked. Sarah dithered, and Brady noted that his son's future depended on whether Holly flashed back what had happened the night she had overdosed. "I understand, Brady. And I'm so sorry because I cannot indeed imagine how hard that must be. Like I said, neurology isn't my specialty. But what I do know from my limited experience, once a coma case regains knowledge, their recollections could come back snappily, gradationally, or occasionally not at each," Sarah said. Brady jounced with understanding, and he thanked Sarah for her time. After Sarah walked down, Brady allowed about his discussion with Tate about the evidence of his innocence. "It's my word against hers," Tate had said. Brady's phone chimed with a call from Nicole. Nicole told Brady that Tate had broken into the house to see Holly. "Andy.J.'s calling the police right now," Nicole added. When Brady arrived at the DeMera manse, Nicole, E.J., Holly, and Tate were in the living room. "You called him?" E.J. said. Nicole argued that Brady had a right to know about what Tate had done. "I swear, all I wanted to do was see Holly. I had not seen her since she got back. I wanted to make sure that she was right," Tate said. E.J. argued that Tate's only provocation had been to make sure that Holly would lie to cover Tate and claim the medicines had been Holly's. "I heard what you said before when I opened your door. You said, 'Tate, do not make me do this,'" E.J. said. "All I wanted her to do was tell the verity," Tate combated. As E.J. went to open the frontal door for the police, Tate prayed Holly to tell the verity. "They are going to take me back to jail." "Please, Holly," Tate contended. Holly looked down at her bases. E.J. returned with the police, and E.J. ordered them to arrest Tate. Brady asked E.J. to talk first. J. refused. "Your son has been a pest on my family from the moment he arrived in Salem," E.J. complained. E.J. argued that Tate had left the halfway house without authorization and also had broken into E.J.'s house. "He broke into your house because he was falsely indicted and he is hopeless. He is a good, honest sprat. He wouldn't have risked everything to break in then if he was not telling the verity," Brady combated. Brady and E.J. argued about who was to condemn for the overdose. J. yelled that Tate had broken in to cover his own burrow. Holly expostulated. "That is not true." Holly yelled before she passed out. Nicole caught Holly. Tate tried to help Nicole ease Holly to the ground. J. pushed Tate away. E.J. lifted Holly to carry her upstairs, and he ordered the police to arrest Tate. Brady contended for help, but the police shackled Tate as Nicole and E.J. rushed upstairs with Holly. In Holly's bedroom, Nicole verified that Holly's palpitation was normal.